Carter, who leads the nation in steals for West Virginia. He's a nightmare to bring the ball up against, and this press Virginia is the
pressure defense, steals, blocks, letting that lead the way for the offense of West Virginia.
Tips, deflections, disruption, making you uncomfortable, changing your pace, not just turning you over.
A West Virginia team who started the year 15-1 was ranked high as #2 in the country. Inside, Konate, board rip by Terrell Miller Jr. and a long outlet pass. Murray State gives it right back to Javon Carter. Ahmad follows his miss. Ahmad, there's a tap, and now Miller finally clears it again.
West Virginia will be bigger and stronger at every position on the floor than Murray State. But Murray State has tremendous quickness in the backcourt. John Morant, number 12, the point guard. He's got his hands full with Javon Carter for West Virginia.
Skip to the corner, Miller off the bounce. The big man who can handle it and shoot it turns this one over. But a second chance with the racers at the rim. Buchanan attacking. Lay on.
Why would you even challenge Konate at the rim? A tremendous shot blocker.
Number 110, that's second in the nation.
Yeah, we just saw it. We just saw number 1 for Marshall in the previous game. Little flex cut action.
Konate in tight. Tap follow. Harris couldn't get it to go. We're still scoreless despite all these looks. Finally, Konate. So he gets it started on defense, and the big man has the first bucket of the game. Sophomore from Mali.
And here comes the ball pressure. They're looking to trap. They do run and jump. They just go get the ball, is what Bob Huggins told us yesterday.
Morant wide open for a 3. That's a missed opportunity.
And see, that's what you have available. If you can beat the first wave of pressure, backside scoring is available.
And then Morant hustles back to get the block on Carter. So end to end between the Racers and the Mountaineers early. There's Carter with another steal. And a Euro. Oh, Miles made that harder than it had to be.
He should have just dunked it.
Now this is amazing. Just over 2 minutes in, West Virginia is 1 for 9 shooting. They've gotten off 9 shots. Just over 2 minutes.
All in the paint. Right under the rim.
Stark misses his first look.
Now, Jonathan Stark has scored over 2,200 points in his career. He is a big-time offensive player. Number 2 in blue for Murray State. Number 2 in white, though, he dominates the ball for West Virginia.
Deep 3 goes down for Wesley Harris. Sophomore from Jackson, Mississippi. Morant gets to the pressure. Rejected again. Second block for Konate. Miller runs it down. And now Miller with a mismatch takes it himself right at Daxter Myers.
Terrell Miller, number 0, is a 6'8" senior. He can shoot the pick and pop. He only needs 15 points to get to 1,000 for his career. He's a legitimate scorer at the rim, but he also can shoot the 3.
He had the dagger 3 to seal the OVC final win over a very good Belmont team. 9 to shoot, into the post. Ahmad taking his way, spins out. Harris can't corral it, out of bounds. West Virginia keeps it off of Morant for the Racers. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. Bob Huggins had the front row seat for Marshall's win. Bob Huggins, the Morgantown native, as was his father, Charlie, who won 3 Ohio high school basketball titles. On the baseline, Carter spins it in. 7-2 start for the Mountaineers.
Sometimes they're on the ball out of bounds. They get that quick trap.
Morant's in trouble. Had to throw it off of West. That sends us to an official timeout. West Virginia.
They got it done. Carter
And right on cue, during the Infinity Coaches Spotlight, the jacket comes off. First official timeout for Matt McMahon. Racers break the pressure this time down. Out of the timeout, Buchanan to the rim.
And you have to look to attack. And that's part of what West Virginia does. It's a wear-down effector over 40 minutes, Carter. And if they don't turn you over and you can beat that first wave, you have to look to score. Now, without Konate on the floor, you can go to the rim. When he's on the floor, you need to settle for a mid-range or a triple.
West to a slipping Ahmad, and a foul called on Sanchez. Breon Sanchez gets his first personal foul. Issa Ahmad, third-year starter, but he missed the first semester, so still getting the flow.
It's a good job of moving without the basketball. Issa Ahmad is a 69% free throw shooter.
Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com. You can follow along as the Wolfpack attempt to make a run in the NCAA Women's Tournament.
They got the lead in the fourth quarter today, Carter. That's they can close it out.
It's what Debbie does in her free time watching the men's tournament, is check scores from the women's tournament. It is double-barreled March Madness at least.
We'll see if there's some challengers for UConn. You know, last year South Carolina won the national championship. And I think there are some challengers.
Carter gets another steal. Taking it away from Miller, nearly lost it at midcourt. There to bail him out, Beetle Bolden. West, long two. Ahmad, second chance for the Mountaineers. Back into the hands of Carter. Ahmad steps outside. Miller clears it for the Racers.
Lord Miller is just cleaning up on the defensive glass.
He already has 7 rebounds.
We haven't even played 7 minutes.
No. That's a lot of missed shots for West Virginia as well. Stark, deep three.
That's a lot of length for Stark to take a look at, scoring over the top of West. That's 6'8" versus 6 feet, and I'm not sure Jonathan Stark is even 6 feet tall.
Morant, the freshman, on Carter, the senior. Morant is a talented freshman. 9 to shoot. Bolden launches it, spins out. That's a foul. And it is on West on a push-off, going for the rebound on Buchanan. First on Lamont West, sophomore from Cincinnati. Bob Huggins and the West Virginia Mountaineers. 9th appearance in the tournament last 11 years. Sweet 16, 2 of the last 3 years. And for Bob Huggins, it can sometimes be very simple. He said, if you really love basketball, you don't want it to end.
And if you really like to play defense, then you can play for me and we will win.
Said the number one thing, you're evaluating players, evaluating talent. He said, you can't play for me if you do not love the game of basketball. And he wears it on his sleeve.
Wasn't it a great conversation with him yesterday, talking about relationships and accountability and how, you know, people talk about him getting on his guys a lot, but he's demanding because he expects, and his teams play with tremendous discipline. But you can get on a player if you have a relationship with them and they understand what your expectations are.
Once they trust you, it's easy, he said. We did not offer any Mountaineers a rebuttal. Carter gets another steal, another takeaway by West Virginia.
Now, not everyone can play for him.
Right, exactly. Carter then lost the handle out of bounds, so he gets a steal and then gives it right back. 4 steals early for West Virginia, but Carter's going to take a break.
He's turned the ball over, trying to do too much. It's demanding to be the point guard for Bob Huggins. It takes a lot to manage both sides of the ball and the tempo that he wants to play with.
Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year for the 2nd straight season. Moran handling it from Murray State. Denied, taken away. Miles, textbook. Bolden ripped from behind. Stark nearly got it back, and in fact, he did.
He did. It's a nice defensive job there, getting a deflection, knocking it off the leg of Bolden. Watch this right here. Stark stays involved in the play.
It's going to be end-to-end. 8-4, so low scoring, but 7 minutes in, both teams going 94 feet. Here's Jonathan Stark, senior from Munford, Tennessee, transfer from Tulane. Buchanan down the baseline, high off the glass. Shaq Buchanan.
Going right at Konate.
Fearless for the junior from Madison, Mississippi. The fans of the Racers from Murray, Kentucky. West Virginia hasn't scored and coming up on 3 minutes.
Good ball pressure early by Murray State.
Carter on the bench, Bolden at the point. 5 to shoot, off the screen. Bolden, tough floater. The drought continues, but it's out of bounds, and West Virginia will get it back. And now we're going to have to check the shot clock to see if that should have been a reset.
Yeah, I think that's 1 second on the shot clock. James Breeding was on the same angle that we were on, Carter. This is a terrific switch and a great challenge. And Miller involved inside. A ball goes off him, but there's 1 second on the shot clock. Good job by the officials.
And no reset, so no possession there for Murray State, and then out of bounds. And Carter quickly back into the game, so a very brief rest for Javon Carter. Inbound, there it is. Got the look. Miller has the rebound, his 8th.
Is Miller challenging that many shots at the rim, or is it just West Virginia not finishing? How about that finish? Ja Morant. Take a look at this right here. Nice job of taking up the space, getting it high off the glass, right into the chest of Konate. This is how you challenge a shot blocker. That's a big-time take for confidence. Because one of the things Matt McMahon told us yesterday, I told my guys, if you want to take it in there, you better be able to finish, because you're taking on a tremendous challenge with Sagaba Konate inside.
And Murray State on a 7-1 run takes the lead on West Virginia. Over 3.5 without a point for West Virginia. Teddy Allen gives it back to Carter. 5 to shoot. Miles off the bounce. Tough 2. Spins out. Boarded by Smith.
Really good D by Murray State.
Buchanan attacks. Rejected at the rim. Konate got up and got it. Matt McMahon thought it was goaltending, no call.
See, that's what he does really well. He blocks shots into their transition game so they can keep possession, and they try to run off his blocks.
Carter. Kick to Miles. Get it around to Harris for the open 3. Second made 3 for Wesley Harris. In fact, he has the only 2 made 3s in the game.
Sainer with Vince Edwards and Carson Edwards. They've got plenty of offensive opportunity. Now they'll change the way they defend a little bit at the rim.
Morant attacking, drops it off. That's an offensive foul. It's on Morant. And it is drawn West Virginia by Logan Routt.
Really good job stepping in and drawing a charge. You got to make better decisions on the backside of that pressure.
Carter back in the game for West Virginia.
I've been impressed with Murray State's defense.
Carter gets in the paint, drops it off, and 1. Logan Routt, sophomore, Cameron, West Virginia. Draws a charge on one end and finishes it off the look from Carter on the other.
There is a sliver of space, and Carter eats it up. Terrific find inside. Javon Carter doesn't need much time or distance to get where he wants to go. Very quick. It's hard to knock him off his line, too. He's plus 30 pounds since his freshman year of muscle, and he's about 8% body fat.
Bob Huggins told a story about Orlando. AAU tournament, 8 in the morning, had a big cup of coffee, went to the far court to watch Javon Carter play. He was the only player pressing at 8 a.m. The rest of the team wasn't. Bob Huggins said, that guy could play for me. West Virginia was his biggest offer, and he's been one of the most accomplished seniors in West Virginia basketball history. Javon Carter.
I think he's a complete player. Everyone talks about his defense, but he's 4th all-time in career threes.
Nearly took one there. Instead, Harris.
He's a good distributor.
Wow. What a sub for Huggins. He doesn't play a lot of minutes, but they have been big in the first half for Logan.
He plays 7 minutes a game. He's only scored a total of 28 points all season.
5 in this one, and he takes a charge on the defensive end. Shows the right route. Bob Huggins.
Nice.
Morant lost the handle. Got it back. 9 to shoot. Into the corner. Multiple shot fakes for Buchanan. Couldn't finish it off, but a second chance. Long rebound for Morant.
Yeah, there's no reason why West Virginia shouldn't have got a defensive rebound. The ball was stuck on one side of the floor. They contested a tough shot. You got to board it.
8-0 run for West Virginia, who delivered the Buick expectation-shattering performance of the day. Tune in to Inside March Madness presented by Buick and find out. I would say John Elmore would be an early candidate.
John Elmore, the guard for Marshall. 6 for 13 from the floor, 27 points. He had 4 triples. He was terrific in the upset over Wichita State.
And now West Virginia trying to join him in the round of 32. Dupree gets the personal there, first personal. Murray State doesn't play a lot of guys. I mean, it's pretty much a 7-man rotation, which is tough to maintain against the Mountaineers.
And think 40 minutes of focus, and they've already got 7 turnovers. And you know, West Virginia, they just count on their depth and their wear-down factor. Tips, deflections, disruption.
There's a disruption at the rim. Dupree came back to D it up on Harris. Man advantage for now. Miller takes it and delivers. The 6'8" big man from Jacksonville, Florida, Terrell Miller.
He makes 2 a game. Terrific pick and pop guy at 6'8". A matchup problem every night in the OVC.
Konate with Carter slipping. How about the big man to Carter at the rim?
That's just a great cut. Really good cut.
Foul on the inbounds. Bob Huggins did not think so. 2 hands on the dribbler, that gets a foul.
Well, you fake the dribble handoff right here. Or the handoff, excuse me. And then you go backdoor like that by Carter. Great feed and good job by Konate to distribute from the top. Konate is not known as a passer. You know, you throw it in the block, he's going to score. But from the high post, he's capable.
Stark, who averages 22 points per game, bringing it up from Murray State. That's 16th best in Division I. Only 12 players have taken more shots than Stark. But he's 0 for 4 early from Murray State. Foul called against the Mountaineers off the rebound from Miller. Stark needs to get going for Murray State. Down by 6, he hasn't scored yet.
He's trying to do everything off the bounce, and they're not running anything for him. And part of that is West Virginia speeds you up. You never get comfortable.
That was uncomfortable off the inbound. Stark creating on the wing. The triple goes down. That's Byron Hawkins. Pulling Murray State back within 3. Back-to-back triples for the Racers. Playing through Konate again at the high post. Ahmad into Konate. Big to big turnaround nice. For Sagaba.
Beautiful. Gets over that left shoulder with a half hook. You do have to guard him in the shoot and the elbows. He can score from up there.
Morant gets a screen from Dupree. Picks up the dribble, needs help. And here comes Stark, but the shot clock already 8. Bull knocks it out, disrupting the offensive rhythm for Murray State. West Virginia by 5. From outside.
It ignites their transition game.
8 to shoot here. West Virginia excellent on inbound defense. 5 to shoot. Pressure on the ball. Morant gets it up. Bobble underneath. Collection. Konate bothers it again. And it is out of bounds to West Virginia. Making it tough inside for Jalen Dupree. And Debbie, you watched a lot of block shots.
I charted every one of them this season up till today. 57% of the ones that he blocks into the transition game ignites their tempo. 29% the opponent keeps, and 14% he blocks out of bounds. So instead of going for the highlight reel, like block it out of bounds, he blocks it in play so they can get up the floor and score.
So
that's the way I like people to block shots.
Let's just make this clear. When you're not calling a game, you're watching a game. And when you're not calling or watching, then you're breaking down every single one of Sagaba Konate's 109 blocks from the season.
It was enjoyable, Carter, on Synergy. It was fantastic.
A guy who's only in his 4th year playing basketball. Grew up playing soccer in Mali. And
that's the one thing Coach Huggins talked about is his footwork and how he's got great feet because of his soccer background. His pivoting and his ability around the rim on the offensive end has improved.
Justin Magestro played for Bob Huggins at Walsh College. Huggins' first head coaching job. Ended up with Konate on his AAU team. Called Huggins and assistant Larry Harrison repeatedly to say Sagaba could play for the Mountaineers. Huggins says he didn't believe it until he and Larry finally saw him and said, all right, that guy could fit in very well in our system as a sophomore. One of the best big men in the tournament.
See, that's when Bob Huggins' defenses are at their best, is when he's got a guy like Sagaba on the backside of pressure that can just knock everything away from the inside.
Miller gets the rebound, no basket, foul on West. And as much as things have gone well for West Virginia, just a 5-point lead. I mean,
I'm telling you, Terrell Miller has been terrific all over the boards, aggressive. His energy has matched those of the frontline players of West Virginia, and that's a tough assignment.
Stark and Morant average 39 a game combined. They have 3 so far, and the Racers turn it over again. Carter gets it back, and now Harris. Allen off the bounce, Teddy Allen, and one. The freshman from Mesa, Arizona, earns a trip to the line. Big Teddy.
It's good ball movement in transition, so Murray State can't get organized. A pass late in their rotation because they couldn't stop the ball. And Teddy Allen with a little contact at the rim with a great finish.
That was the 9th Murray State turnover, but only 5 points off turnover so far for West Virginia.
So you are not going to be able to convert your defense if you turn it over in a live ball against these guys. Their team speed in West Virginia is too good.
Allen mostly below the rim, but he is efficient. 11 minutes a game, 6.5 points per game, and a great offensive rebounder. Stark still scoreless. Averages 22 a game. James Bolden D'ing him up now. Switch off, Allen takes him. Stark gets past him. Into the paint, creating. Morant, back to Stark. Still open. And a foul on Smith.
We're going to shoot 1 and 1.
Both teams in the bonus already with 5:38. Both teams shooting under 40%. But you credit the defense on both sides as well.
Well, I mean, I think West Virginia is fine with that because they know their depth and their pressure takes an impact on teams, not just in the first quarter, or in the first half, but in the second as well.
Tap. Konate has it. Konate brings it down, and that's a tie-out. Possession arrow is going to give it to the Racers. So, big man fundamental. Get it up high. Don't bring it down.
Great help. Good dig in. Murray State, scrappy.
Racers have won 13 straight, second only to Gonzaga. Last year, Murray State, this was amazing. First losing season in 30 years. It was the fourth longest streak in college basketball, and they bounced back, won the conference title, 26 wins, NCAA tourney. Bolden commits the foul there, and that's one of those 93 feet away.
I mean, when you start talking about the who's who of coaches on Murray State's roster, you know, Steve Prohm, Iowa State now, Billy Kennedy at Texas A&M, Mick Cronin, Cincinnati.
Well, now Matt McMahon, Oak Ridge, Tennessee native. Humble and hungry. Says that's been the mantra for Murray State. Remember to drink a delicious Coke Zero Sugar for all the college mascots because they can't. Stark finally on the board. Gets them both.
He's had to work. He has had to work for everything. He's got the responsibility of handling the ball against pressure. And Bolden has done a terrific job defending him for West Virginia.
Allen off the bounce.
They go 4 out, 1 in, trying to challenge Terrell Miller in the matchup with Sagaba.
Konate wants it.
Throw it in there.
Instead, Carter dribbling, attacking, and off the window. Took it right at Miller. Racers racing into the front court. Smith couldn't hang on. Out of bounds off of Bolden in West Virginia. Racers keep it. Murray State, 3 NCAA opening round wins in program history. The last in 2012 against Colorado State. Miller comes out to get it.
They go ISO with Miller on Allen. I thought he would like that.
And now it's Morant on Allen. Gets past him again. In the paint, stripped away. Out of bounds off Morant. Give it back to West Virginia. Carter digging in.
They're trying to take advantage of Teddy Allen, and he does a good job of defending. And that's great help by Carter.
10 first half turnovers for Murray State. They average only 12 a game, but West Virginia does that to everybody.
Now watch for Carter here offensively. Yeah, when he goes off the ball, they like to put him in a playmaking spot in the middle of the floor. And that's what Teddy Allen can do for you on the other end.
First double-digit lead for West Virginia. 3 and an answer.
That's why Bolden has to find him early. Terrific 3 in transition. Maybe that will get Stark going.
First field goal for Jonathan Stark. Carter in the paint again. Lost it. Konate trying to gather it. Fight for it. It is touched, I believe, out of bounds. Stark, half blocker. Watching the guy who's number 2 from down the road in Morgantown, West Virginia. Sagaba Konate.
How about the job Dan D'Antoni from Marshall did in managing Penna's foul trouble all game? He ultimately fouled out, but he finished with 16 and 8. He had 3 blocks. He knows Konate can't catch him, though. He's going to stay at the top of that chart, I think.
Allen. Tough one. There's Konate on the offensive end, earning a trip to the free throw line. When you
watch Konate right here, the timing on how he gets to the glass when he knows the shot's going up. See, when you take shots in your offense, especially coming off a timeout, a play that you know is designated, you can get to the glass.
Sagaba Kanate, sophomore from Mali, came to the U.S. prior to his junior year in high school. Led Kennedy Catholic in Pennsylvania to a state title, but not a major division of basketball there for Kennedy Catholic. He was not on the big AAU circuit, so that's why the former player, Justin Magestro, recommending him. This is Kanate. Hard to believe. This is entering 10th grade as to where he is now.
Well, if you think about it, he just started playing basketball. This is his 4th year. He was just starting to play. Big soccer guy.
And it is all big now for Sagaba Kanate. Started both seasons at West Virginia.
Now we got to find out what position he played in soccer.
Great point. Well, if West Virginia wins, we'll have a chance to talk to him again. Miller's going to bring it up. So the 6'8" man with handles into the front court and drawing a foul on Teddy Allen. How about that? Put it in the hands of Terrell Miller to bring it up the floor.
Got to take the pressure off of Jonathan Stark and see if you can get him off the ball a little bit. Miller's capable of handling.
He's taken the second most threes on the team. Mentioned his big three to seal that OVC win over Belmont. Second chance, however. Smith, offensive rebound off a missed free throw. And then Miller and Allen get tangled up again, and it's another one on Allen. Yeah, it is. That's two.
Terrell Miller, his motor goes. Both ends of the floor. He's been terrific on the glass, posting up strong, demanding the basketball. Got to make free throws, though, if you're Murray State, if you want to knock off the 5 seed, West Virginia.
10 rebounds already for Miller. Spins in the first.
This will be his 11th double-double, Carter.
More than 37 million viewers have made The Alienist cable's newest phenomenon. Don't miss The Alienist. All new Mondays at 9 on TNT. Got them both this time. Profitable trip for Murray State.
A little pressure of their own. 3-quarter court.
Juwan Carter resets. Senior from Maywood, Illinois.
I never believed that pressing teams don't like to be pressed. They work it back. They go against it every day.
Some of those old cliches and adages don't exactly add up, do they?
No.
5 to shoot here, back into the hands of Carter. Hounded by Buchanan, gives it up. Ahmad triple, off the look.
And that's where Javon Carter, just priceless, the plays that he makes. He had an eye on the shot clock. He knew he had plenty of time to kick to the corner once he drew help.
4th assist for Carter on the 3rd made 3 for West Virginia.
It's really challenging to defend him. When he's driving down the lane line, Carter, you got a shooter in the corner. You're not supposed to help off ball side shooter. Ball side corner.
West Virginia has cut off Jonathan Stark. Only 1 made bucket. So kick to the wing. Buchanan. Brown has the board. Carter picks up the dribble. Ahmad tipped away by Miller. Sending the racers on the run.
Stark can get a transition 3 here. Absolutely.
Couldn't get it to go. So he's now 1 for 8 shooting. Doesn't pull the trigger. Off the bounce. Blocking foul called. Stark attacks in the restricted area. So Bolden trying to set up for the charge. Instead gets the blocking foul.
Jonathan Stark right here does a nice job of shooting the floater. If he'd pull up and gone on off balance, he might have had a nice easy bucket at the front of the rim. Instead, he's going to have to earn it at the line.
And even with the slow shooting start for Jonathan Stark, you think about his place with the great racer guards like Cannon and Payne. Coming up, AT&T at the half. We'll have scores, highlights, and the latest NCAA tournament news. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. Isaiah Cannon's playing for the Suns. Campaign with the Bulls. Cannon won the Racer Hall of Fame last month. Has the bad ankle injury. It's going to cost him his NBA season, but regardless, still a proud Murray State racer. And Jonathan Stark, his 2nd year at Murray State after coming over from Tulane. He's going to have a big second half if Murray State wants to pull off another upset here.
Only one time this season he's been in single digits. Otherwise, back-to-back, he's led the OVC in scoring.
Harris at the top. Carter in the corner. Smith pulls it. And now Stark brings it up. Stepping in, Miller for three. The big man leading the charge for Murray State.
That's Jonathan Stark. I'm going to give him big credit for that because he pushes hard and draws help. Allows Miller to shoot the transition three, which is where he's best at shooting the triple.
A double-double in the first half. But on the other end, Ahmad gets to the rim.
Looks like Murray State getting a little confidence right here, Carter.
Oh, Miller whipped it, no look. Hawkins couldn't finish. Second chance. Smith lost it out of bounds.
Get a 2-for-1 here, which means they can score quickly. They'll get the ball back for another possession.
Chase Harler into the game for the Mountaineers for this last less than a minute. Ahmad and one.
There it is, right there. Terrific execution. Really nice play out of the huddle by Coach Huggins. Good delivery, good cut, great finish with contact. Now, you know what, Carter? Now they're going to put the pressure on. What if they get a turnover here? They could go. Could it be 3-for-1? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that has to factor in, right? We say all the time, you rarely see in the college game the 2-for-1, more of an NBA thing. But if you're West Virginia and you're used to getting those quick possessions, why not? Ahmad, the junior from Cleveland, can't finish off the three-point play. So the differential, 11 seconds. Into the corner, Stark. Best look so far. Still couldn't get it. Miller flies in, and a foul on Kanate after the board from Miller. That's a big one for Murray State.
The hustle package on Miller has been terrific all game, and take a look at what West Virginia was able to do in the first 16 games, and then pretty much you hit the Big 12, and you got to play a true round robin in that league, and it was challenging. That is a hard league to go on the road and win.
Mountaineers one of two teams to beat Virginia this year. Virginia Tech in overtime the others, so Bob Huggins' team the only team to beat the #1 seed in regulation this season. Only Mike Krzyzewski and Jim Boeheim have more wins among active Division I men's basketball coaches.
You mentioned third active winningest coach. His dad was a coach. He's a graduate of West Virginia.
Terrell Miller carrying things right now for Murray State. Double-double in the first half. Gets them both on this trip. West Virginia's led by as many as 10. A chance to get it back to there with a three at the end. And almost no differential.
So they run the dribble weave at the top to see if they can get any switches that they like. Now they just can take the last shot and time to offensive rebound.
Here's Carter with a freshman on him. Gets past him in the paint. Carter floats it. And one with a foul on Morant. The senior just took the freshman to school.
Right, time and score. Terrific clock awareness. He gets the switch right there. He likes it. Terrific play. Really nice move by Javon Carter.
Talked about how so many people talk about his defense. You lead the nation in steals, you understand why. Last chance here for Murray State. Miller heaves it. A double-double in the first half for Miller.
And they rebounded 9 of them. That's 50% on the offensive rebounding rate. That's very good.
That's good math on the fly, Debbie. 9 of 18.
Thank you, Carter. Otherwise, Murray State overall is +5 on the boards.
Murray State, who's won 13 straight, second only to Gonzaga. While West Virginia makes it hard on both ends. Ahmad, that's a long two to get it started in the second half for Issa Ahmad. West Virginia by 11. Largest lead.
Look at that lockdown D. That's a 5-second call. That's a terrific effort right out of the locker room. You execute offensively, and then you bring the heat. Everybody in lockdown, one pass away. This is terrific. Really good defensive effort. You got to love that if you're Bob Huggins.
Talk about setting a tone for the second half. Carter off a good screen from Ahmad. Kanate at the top. So they invert it with Carter on the baseline, 9 to shoot. Carter with 5 to shoot. Gets past the freshman again. Gets to the rim. Draws a foul on Sanchez. And Carter with more veteran moves late in the shot clock.
Well, he's an academic All-American, and it does transfer to the floor because you can see how he understands angles, when to take it, when to draw the switch, how he can take advantage. Really studious play right there by Javon Carter, besides the quickness to be able to go to the baseline.
Sum up all of his award possibilities is this. Every major award, Javon Carter is a candidate or a finalist. Puts that third foul on Sanchez. Carter finishes at the free throw line, and West Virginia has started the second half nearly perfect. Buchanan off the bounce, kick to the corner, Miller. 3 in the corner as Terrell Miller continues to keep Murray State within striking distance.
And see, while West Virginia is really good up front with their pressure, the backside, that's what I'm talking about. That's what Murray State needs to do to come back. They've got to score on the backside of that pressure. West Virginia doesn't defend the 3 that well in that situation.
There's Miller with another board. He hasn't missed. 4 for 4 shooting, double-double, and now off the bounce, Miller to the rim. Still hasn't missed. How far can Terrell Miller lead Murray State? Ahmad on the wing. Run out screen, 5 to shoot. Carter, 2 to shoot. Carter's going to take it. And nail it with a 0 on the shot clock. Javon Carter.
That's what I'm talking about. 3 W's, Carter. Who to get the ball to, when and where, and sometimes you got to call your own number late in the shot clock. Yeah, Miller wants the ball. He's calling for it on the matchup right here. This is where he's a mismatch issue.
Backing him down and spinning it in. Miller takes Daxter Miles Jr. to the rim.
That's why you push in transition. You get a mismatch. That's what Miller can do.
Still hasn't missed. 19 and 14. Miles misses from outside. Kanate offensive board and a foul on Terrell Miller.
Well, watch right here. See, if you run any offense here outside of the isolation, West Virginia will switch off this matchup. And Miller's not going to want to switch. He wants to take Daxter Miles inside the paint and score on him.
Look how Miller has carried the Racers, outscored the rest of his teammates. Critics named TNT's original series call as one of the best shows of 2017. Niecy Nash leads an all-star cast when Claus returns for an all-new season this summer, only on TNT. Kanate gets them both.
You can run the baseline, which Murray State didn't do very much of in the first half against pressure. And see, you got to be careful inbounding it below the free throw line like that. It's dangerous.
Stark gets out of the trouble. Only 1 made bucket for the nation's 16th leading scorer. Buchanan backs it out. 9 to shoot. Skip into the corner. Morant down the baseline. And one.
He just bounces right off Konate. This is terrific right here. On the skip, it's a terrific time to take short. A longer closeout by Carter because he's a three-point threat and allows Morant to drive right by and get right into the chest of Konate.
And that is the third personal on Sagaba Konate. So
just bounced right off him, Carter.
Oh, I can understand. Morant finishes off the three-point play. With Konate on the bench, can Murray State take advantage and get back in it? On the wing, that's a deep three, air ball, or maybe just a pass to Dexter Miles Jr.
Which will be his first basket, and he gets it on an offensive rebound. I guess you would call it that.
Sure.
Right?
Oh, bumped West. That was West who shot the air ball pass assist. Lorenzo Charles style.
Another reference to NC State, Carter. I love it.
Can't get enough of those, can you?
It's one of the greatest moments in March ever.
Oh, no question. At the pit in Albuquerque. Jim Valvano still looking for somebody to hug. A quiet Viejas.
35 years since
That's
Jim
right.
Valvano.
That's right. How about that? On the wing, Miller buries a triple. Terrell Miller ready for his March moment.
He is working. He has still not missed from the floor. Inside, outside, in transition, getting to the free throw line.
A perfect 7 for 7 foul. That'll send us to an official timeout. Murray Community College to Murray State. And usually talk about a stretch 4. He's a stretch 5, maybe more accurately positionless for the Murray State Racers. And they have needed everything from Terrell Miller to keep him in this one. Konate's on the bench for West Virginia. Allen, late in the clock. Allen, blocked by Miller. And another one to the stat line. A little shove off. He got away with Allen.
He's a beast in there right now. He has been boarding all game. And he's played every minute of the game.
Now Morant, the freshman guard, all OVC. Been tough on him today. Misses that one. Tap out. Run down by Dupree. So Buchanan will reset. You sense Murray State needs to make a push right now.
They've got to get started going.
There he
That's
goes.
Beautiful. Buchanan doing a nice job of taking it off the bounce. And Jonathan Stark has yet to get going, but you got a sense that he will. And his teammates have kept them in a 2-possession game.
8-2 run. Buchanan's brothers here with New Mexico State. Watch it. Carter, step back. Oh, with a hand in his face. Veteran.
He has answered all game.
And now Miller again. Off the bounce, Miller for 3. First miss from the field for Miller. Carter has the board, and now Javon Carter gives it up. Harris thought about the transition 3. Instead, give it back to Javon Carter, the senior from Illinois. Carter off the bounce, off the window. Fight for the rebound. Buchanan controls it. Murray State brings it back. Looking for the trailer Morant. Off the shot fake, Buchanan will get to the line.
So that was a terrific decision by Buchanan, because he could have attacked the rim with numbers. Instead, they set it up and they get a chance to put some pressure on West Virginia's defense. pick up another foul. That's 3 team fouls on West Virginia.
And the first on Wesley Harris. Allen and Miller separated in a pretty good discussion there with James Breeding.
Yeah, the 2 seniors, Carter and Miles, go to Allen and say, get your hands straight up.
Yep, touch gloves. Whip inside, Dupree. Oh, and foul called inside on route, and that was a late whistle.
I don't even know how Miller saw Buchanan, or excuse me. Look at this pass right here. How does he even see Dupree on the other side of the floor? That's a foul.
I'm not even sure who Bob Huggins was eyeing on that one in the stands, but you can't teach speed until now. Bleacher Report. Get alerts for your teams and scores before anyone else. Download the app now. With Konate on the bench, Murray State trying to make a push. When he picked up his third, it was a 9-point lead. They've got it to 6. Harris whips it inside. Miles finds a cutting Allen. Allen tuck inside.
Well, he's been really good on the offensive end. Doing a good job moving without the ball, making himself available. Not a lot of ball screen offense for Murray State. They have done a lot of stuff off the ball cutting. They're trying to get some isolation play right here with Miles guarding Miller.
2 Mountaineers there. Stripped away. Allen poked that one away. It's on the deck. West Virginia wins the loose ball fight. Allen was open for a moment. Now Carter takes it himself, and that is blocking foul. Count the bucket.
Look at Carter. Just riding right off the backside of Morant, who's doing everything he can to try to get back in transition. But that's what you do as a point guard. You run right off the backside of somebody who's trailing in transition, and you try to make a play. I mean, how many guards in March do we have that you can put the ball in their hands and trust that they're going to make a play and make the right play? Bob Huggins has that with Javon Carter.
I don't think West Virginia cares about who else has that ability. They've got their guy. All defensive team, all 4 years. Chris Kramer, Aaron Kraft, and Javon Carter, the only 3 major conference guys in the era of 4-year eligibility.
Look, Aaron Kraft was a terrific defender as a point guard at Ohio State. That's what he was known for.
Kramer at Purdue. Morant, that's a blocking foul on Teddy Allen. Morant, savvy move there to get into Allen.
Yeah, see, Allen's been really good on the offensive end, and they have picked on him a little bit on the defensive end.
Freshman from Mesa, Arizona, went to Boys Town High School in Nebraska. He was a Nebraska High School Player of the Year. Like you said, great offense, but they've hung 3 on him on the defensive end. Miller again. There's a ball screen. Morant uses it. Get it to Stark. Covered up by Carter. Here's the matchup, Stark and Carter.
Look at Carter close the space on Stark. Look
Punch
at that
it away.
play right there.
This is the Carter. Dropping it off for a round. It begins with Javon. And it ends with West Virginia taking its largest lead, up by 13. Timeout. Murray State is 14 points.
Javon Carter, 18 points, 5 assists, 5 steals. Should we say triple-double? Should we even think it?
I guarantee you he's thinking it. And now with 9 to shoot, Morant gives it up. Stark, still only 1 made basket in the game. Averages 22 points per game. But Carter has locked him up lost it out of bounds again, and that sends us back to an official timeout with Javon. He can drink all the Coke Zero sugar he wants to. 2 seconds to shoot. Miller got it off. Back into the hands, of course, of Javon Carter.
Always probing, always eyes up, looking, seeking.
Allen spins out, another board from Miller. That's 16.
Another good set off the timeout by Coach Huggins to get Teddy Allen in an isolation, trying to put some pressure on Miller to get him in some foul trouble. He's killing him on the glass.
That's a reach-in foul on Wesley Harris, second. And Bob Huggins is not happy with Harris reaching in to get a foul from behind. 16 fouls, next one, 1-1. Murray State needs something from Stark.
Yeah, he's got to contribute here.
He gives it up, and a nifty move to the basket for Byron Hawkins.
But Javon Carter is leading the team in scoring, and he's locking down Jonathan Stark. It's an impressive day for the senior.
So that's my last one. I want to make it last as long as possible. NCAA tournament for Javon Carter. Sweet 16, 2 of the last 3 years for West Virginia. For a team ranked as high as number 2 early this year, that win over Virginia. Get a 5 seed in the East.
One of the most decorated careers at West Virginia, and we'd love to have a championship.
And then on the baseline inbound. The inbound to Teddy Allen with the foul as West Virginia's taken control.
Look at the cut right here by Allen. See, Morant just doesn't have any awareness.
Off another assist for Javon Carter.
You just got to have a better angle defending the inbounder there, so you can see what's happening.
That's too easy off the inbound, right?
Yes.
And Allen equaling the largest lead for West Virginia at 14. Heather Blackburn, Debbie Antonelli, John Schriffen, statistician Wade Robinson here courtside. The AHAS Arena, Aztec Bowl. Carter hounding Stark again.
There's a switch.
Now it's Carter on Miller. Hawkins off the bounce, in the paint, over Carter.
You just communicate those switches so well, understanding personnel.
And now Javon on the offensive end. It's been too much for Murray State. Racers in 1990 nearly pulled off a 16-1 upset over Michigan State. Dangerous tournament team. They would take a major comeback effort here.
Hey, when this ball was on the other side of the floor, Teddy Allen was calling for his number because he knew he had an isolation on the interior and a matchup he could score on.
Remember how easily they scored on the last baseline inbound.
See, that time Morant took the cutter. Now he turns to guard the ball.
Wow, 5 seconds.
See, much better job by Morant helping on that cut.
And so an easy bucket off the last baseline inbounds. Defensive adjustment. They get a turnover. But it is just the 6th by West Virginia. 8 steals in the game for the Mountaineers. That's right on their average. They average 5 blocks a game. Have 4 in this one. And 1 as Hawkins gets into the defender Harris.
It's a good take right here off the bounce. Good hesitation. And then the blow by. Eyes on the rim.
And a bounce back game for Byron Hawkins. He's basically the backcourt sub in the 7-man rotation. Last 3 games, 3 points total, but he has 8 today. That foul was the 3rd on Wesley Harris. Carter off the bounce, attacks, and one. Count it. Javon Carter's too much for the Racers.
It is a point guard clinic on both ends of the floor. He is tremendous. So strong off the bounce, you can't knock him off his line. And here's the thing that I love what he does. Like a running back, Carter, he gets his shoulders over his pads. It's like hitting that offensive line and your thrust is forward. He's always probing, he's looking, and then on the defensive end, he does the same thing. It's tremendous.
We had a good look when Javon Carter came up to get in the face of Jonathan Stark. I mean, spot on, and it's one of those that makes your eyes widen when Javon Carter's bearing down on you.
I mean, he was working so hard defensively on Stark, I think we got sweat on us.
You can understand why that 8 a.m. AAU in Orlando, the big old cup of coffee, why Bob Huggins' eyes pop watching a high school kid picking up 94 feet.
When you have somebody on the top of your defense that plays like Carter, it's infectious. It
Stark
fuels the rest. And so Stark goes, oh, I got one possession. I don't have Carter on me. I'm going to take a shot here. I mean, it's like taking a deep breath, right?
Right, and then you end up jacking one, and he is still held in check. Stark now 1 for 10 shooting. That was a 4th foul on Wesley Harris. Terrell Miller Jr. picked up his 4th personal foul. So the guy who's carried the water today from Murray State on the bench. And Jalen Dupree gets the first. Stream live, 24/7 highlights, scores, and news. Free across all your connected devices with CBS Sports HQ. Check it out now at cbssportshq.com.
You got to make a move right here if you're Murray State. You got to get some stops. And you got to rebound without Miller on the floor.
Foul away from the ball on the back cut. That's on Smith. That's 4 on Anthony Smith as well. And Issa Ahmad, junior from Cleveland, Shaker Heights High School, to the line. That's exactly his average, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Missed it. Smith has the board. Start now with a 6'8" Ahmad on it. Switch off, Carter has him. Stark finally gets past him, somehow into the hands of Smith. It is bobbled around into the hands of Dupree. That's a travel.
So what Bob Huggins does defensively that time is they pre-switch. Okay, so you put a 6'8" on the point guard because you know the screen is coming. And when you get the switch, you get Carter on the matchup you want.
You love it, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Just that little bit of gamesmanship to further frustrate Murray State.
It's a little more defense than I like to talk about, to be honest with you, because I'm all offense.
Well, Carter can get it there too, although Dupree clears it up.
But how can you not appreciate it when you watch it? It's amazing how hard they play, the effort on every possession.
Stark into the corner. This is Buchanan. Off of 1 foot. Tough one. Rout has the board.
The best chance to get uncontested shots against West Virginia's defense is if you can beat the first wave of pressure, because you can get numbers on the backside. But Murray State had that early in the game. They haven't had it in a long time inside this game.
Carter splits it again, rejected again. Dupree climbing the ladder, sending the Racers on the run. But who gets back to disrupt it all? Mr. Carter.
Every point guard in America should be watching. And when you watch Carter play, you can see why. It's tremendous, the effort he plays with every possession.
I'm totally with you. I don't think they sell the VHS tapes anymore on clinics, but, I mean, you could just take Javon Carter today. Now foul on Carter. Murray State fans react.
Well, he's holding right there. See, yes, that's a good call. You can't do that in front of the official.
Right. You can do it, just not in front of the official, right?
You can try. I've seen a few jerseys being tugged today. It happens.
Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. Start limited by Carter, and West Virginia has only one made basket in the game. 9 points total for a guy who averages 22. Got a foul on the other end on Morant. Number 3 on him.
Look, Murray State's not going away. I mean, just when you think that West Virginia has a chance to throw some more separation on this, Murray State makes a play. Now, you got to defend now. You can't just have empty possessions. You've got to be able to get some stops, and you got to get productive on the offensive end.
Rolls off for Carter. So, a rare bad stretch. Foul, missed the front end of a 1-and-1. Stark gives it up in a hurry with the
half-court pressure, half-court trap.
Inside, Smith, bump, play on.
Make you play faster than you want to play. But you got to make that. You got to finish that one.
So now Carter in no hurry with a double-digit lead, 6.5. Kanate into Allen. High to low, Allen earns a trip to the line.
They've done a terrific job in situational offense, especially off of timeouts, of isolating Teddy Allen inside. I think he's had a terrific game on the offensive end.
That foul is on Anthony Smith. That's his 5th. And so with 6:27, you lose Smith off the bench, but Terrell Miller comes back in. 4 personal fouls, but you're down by 11, 6:27. Time to bring in the impact player, Terrell Miller, even with 4.
And while Dexter Miles has struggled a little bit for West Virginia, as we take a look at Miller back on the floor, Teddy Allen's been the one offensively that has filled that void. He only averages 11 minutes a game. He's already played 18.
Looked like it may have been on the rim, but play on. Buchanan in the paint. Floater. No. Allen brings it back. Teddy Allen running it. Miles somehow corrals, and Dexter Miles finishes back to a 14-point lead.
2 great looks at the rim for Murray State, and he can't finish it.
Morant in the paint. Can't finish that one either, but he gets to the line. But something has to drop for the Racers to make a push.
When Matt McMahon goes back and looks at that, I think he's going to, be disappointed his team didn't finish those plays.
2 shots coming here for Morant, freshman from Dalzell, South Carolina. That's between Borden and Mulberry. Over 6 assists per game. 2nd in the OVC. Austin Lake of Belmont led the league in assists per game, but Morant and Austin Luke were both in the top 15 in the nation in assists per game.
As a freshman, only 1 freshman had more assists on the season than Ja Morant. That's Trae Young, Oklahoma.
Heard of him?
Yeah, he led the nation in scoring and in assists. I'm sure you did hear of him.
He was on TV a couple times. Kanate at the top, 9 to shoot. 5 to shoot. Miles on Morant. Miles takes it. Tip. Allen fouled from behind to get back to the free throw line. West Virginia just too tough on the boards as well.
Murray State foul, charge number 12, Ja Morant. That's his 4th.
Teddy Allen, you can see the effort right there.
13, Teddy Allen. 2 shots.
4 fouls now on Morant. Allen gets the first. March Madness continues tonight. 8 more first-round games across CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. You decide the games you want to watch. We'll be here for College of Charleston versus Auburn. Already 2 13 seeds have won, including here in San Diego. When Marshall won game 1 earlier today, it'll be the 13-seeded Cougars against the 4-seed Auburn, playing without the SEC's leading shot blocker, Anthony McLemore.
Auburn wire-to-wire SEC champions in the regular season, and the College of Charleston has 4 players that have scored 1,000 points in their career. Their guards can go. That's going to be a fun game to watch.
Carter rips it away from Miller, but he stepped on the baseline, so give it back after he digs down again on Terrell Miller. Just barely. I mean, this little piggy, my pig found itself smart enough almost to stay in bounds. Texas and Nevada coming down to the wire on TBS as the madness continues. And so Miller back to the free throw line. .23 now for Terrell Miller Jr. Well, if this is still 4:48, I think we learned from Northern Iowa and Texas A&M, 43 seconds, 14-point game. Nothing is over,
wow,
especially in March.
Right.
But if you're looking at Terrell Miller Jr. and saying senior year, if Murray State doesn't win this game into your college career, he has left it on
no
the
question.
floor.
He was ready from the jump.
24 points, 17 rebounds now for the senior from Jacksonville, Florida. Defending with 4 fouls right now.
And look at Stark. He's got Ahmad on him. Or he's defending Ahmad.
Ooh. Konate. Dupree trying to draw the charge on Konate, instead play on, and Konate did.
That's the beautiful footwork that Bob Huggins was talking to us about with Konate. So you don't want to pick the ball up right there against pressure.
And Buchanan gets it across. Yeah, that backcourt 10-second violation, but they must have said he brought it just across the timeline.
Then there was a deflection.
Yeah.
That's what I think they thought that happened.
And now the end of the play.
Basket interference.
Matt McMahon, his second tenure at Murray State. He spent 4 years as an assistant to Steve Prohm, and then now his 3rd season as head coach. Murray, Kentucky.
He played in the NCAA tournament as a point guard for Appalachian State.
Yes, he did. But it's West Virginia closing in. He hit the second free throw, now tied with 3.8. That game is on TBS. Here in San Diego, West Virginia trying to close it out. Been a frustrating day for Stark. With Javon Carter in your face. I mean, we asked Javon Carter yesterday if Bob Huggins' philosophy is, if you think you can get after him, go get him. All right, Javon, do you think you can go get him? He said, yep. And that's been the theme of the day.
Well, I was looking for an indicator. Like, when do you get pressure to the ball, or when do you run and jump? And he said, we don't call it. We just go get the ball. That's what I tell my guys. You could see it. I mean, they are hungry to play defense.
Stark blocked from behind by Ahmad, and his long day continues. That's one of the nation's best scorers, who is now 1 for 11. Hasn't made a field goal in the second half.
Well, Javon Carter, who's been defending him, has 13 points in the second half of his 21.
Deep three. Miller. Into the hands of Ahmad. And now West Virginia closing in. 9th NCAA tournament appearance in the last 11 years for West Virginia. Sweet 16, 2 out of the last 3 years. It's out of bounds off Morant, so the Mountaineers keep it.
Big block from behind. I think Morant was on the ground, already out of bounds when he touched the ball.
Carter gets it into Miles, the most experienced backcourt in the NCAA tournament. Javon Carter, Daxter Miles, both seniors. Carter. That was maybe a little heat check.
I'm sure people will appreciate what they've been able to do in their 4-year career together in the backcourt in an era where Bill Self has won 14 consecutive Big 12 titles. It's been a dominant run by Kansas.
And so the Mountaineers will try and make that noise in March. No one's been able to dethrone the Jayhawks in the Big 12. Behind the back, here goes Miles. Crossover and gets to the rim off the window. Back to a 2-touchdown lead for the Mountaineers. In Nashville, Texas, and Nevada, headed to overtime. We had the thrilling upset here in Game 1 with Marshall taking out the 4-seed Wichita State.
Wow.
How about that tenaciousness?
What an incredible athletic play by John Morant. First team OVC performer as a freshman. Watch this. Carter, you definitely get an H playing horse on that one.
You're not following that one up, are you? You are not following that one up for Demetrius Jarrell Morant. But ever since he was a kid, he's just gone by job. Great year. Allen and one.
Terrific. Teddy Allen, what a big game. What a good time to have a big game. Gets out on the break, runs ahead of the ball with contact and the finish.
From Murray State, proud basketball tradition. Murray, Kentucky. Mentioned they almost pulled that 16-1 upset back in 1990, but since 1988, 3 NCAA wins. They took out NC State, 1988. Then it was 2010. They beat Vanderbilt. 2012 beat Colorado State. So a dangerous team, but West Virginia brought the fight to the Murray State Racers and closing in on 2 minutes away from that West Virginia Marshall matchup in the round of 32.
Now you're going to have an O, Carter, if we were playing horse.
8th overtime game for the Texas Longhorns. I believe the last was the loss to Northern Iowa. Ahmad slipping, dumps it off. Kanate with an exclamation point for West Virginia.
Really hard to press them because of the size. They can see over the top.
Stark long three. Still hasn't made a basket in the second half, and a minute and a half away from West Virginia advancing. And Murray State's 13-game winning streak and season coming to an end.
Well, what a brilliant career for Jonathan Stark, too. What an incredible young man. I knew him when he was at Tulane.
Began at Tulane, was a freshman All-American for the Green Wave.
Transferred, sat out, and made himself a player.
There's Kanate with yet another exclamation point, and so Murray State out of the OVC after the streak of 30 straight winning seasons was snapped last year. Murray State bounces back to win the OVC regular season and tournament title. They get an incredible performance today from Terrell Miller. Coaching staff for West Virginia's not going to get much sleep as they draw it up and try and figure out a way to keep it out of his hands. They're not known for sleeping much. They met every year, Marshall and West Virginia, from 1978 to 2015, but the last meeting was actually December of 2015. And you have Bob Huggins, the Morgantown native and West Virginia grad, against Dan D'Antoni, West Virginia native.
It's great.
And Marshall alum. And again, 43 seconds away. You never say never in March, but looks like we're going to have that Country Roads matchup as Murray State subs in everybody off the bench. And a fitting round of applause for the Murray State seniors and starters. Jonathan Stark, Terrell Miller Jr. sub out. Champions of the OVC, but the run of 13 straight comes to an end against West Virginia. They put Murray State back on top.
Well, Matt McMahon did a terrific job leading his team this year and getting them to this point.
In tight. Devin Gilmore, freshman from Madison, Mississippi, with a bucket in the NCAA tournament. And still to come in San Diego, 4-seed Auburn, 13-seed College of Charleston, and then the 12-5 matchup, Clemson and New Mexico State. Two more dangerous double-digit seeds against the Tigers from the SEC and ACC, respectively. Battlefield. Dexter Miles Jr. with a dagger. And the 5-seed West Virginia survives the test.